Hello everyone, this is Trebus with SC2 Noob School, and today I have a tip for you guys, and this is going to be for the people out there who feel like they have a good concept of strategy. They feel like they understand the game pretty well, they have a decent grasp on the actual mechanics of the game, they just struggle to actually play fast enough to continue to improve their skill, because that's really that's one of the skill ceilings you get to, is where you're just not playing fast enough, not able to do enough things. And I've got two kind of related tips to give you that I think are not mentioned enough but are extremely important. These are things that I tell pretty much all of my students to try to focus on. The first tip is to try to use the bottom half of your screen as much as possible. Try not to be looking at the actual buildings that you're making, or in this case, you know, a pylon's building. Try not to look at that pylon. Do something like what MC is doing right here, which is he is actually hotkeying this pylon, so he can just hit 2 or 3 at any moment, and he can see the progress of that pylon. Now obviously you don't have to do this for every building you make, but it can be a very useful strategy for if you, let's say you're playing Terran and you want to know when your barracks is going to finish, or your command center or something. Put it on a hotkey, and then rather than, you know, moving the camera to where your command center is going to be and then looking at it on this half of the screen, you can just tap a key, check it on the bottom half, and then go about your business doing whatever you want to do. This instance of MC doing that, you know, if he was microing a probe, maybe doing a little probe harassment or something, then he could actually just look back at that pylon and figure out exactly when it's going to finish and when he wants to chrono boost and stuff like that. So that's the first tip, is to just use this bottom half of the screen as much as you can. Pretty much your mini map, this little area right here, and then this area up here are the most important parts of the game when you're just macroing. Obviously for microing you need to look at the screen. So let's move forward a little bit. Now the second concept that is also very important, that I don't think it's talked about enough, is I guess it's not a strategy, it's just a technique called tapping. I believe it's called tapping. It's basically where you're just watch what, we're actually on Puma's view right now, so we can see exactly what he's selecting. See how he's going back and forth? He's selecting Marines, and then he's selecting all his unit producing structures, and then he's selecting his orbital command, and he's not actually even doing something every time he's selecting these. He's not always building an SCV whenever he looks at his command center. He's just looking at it to see what its status is. He's looking at the energy down here, he's looking to see if it's building a SCV. Whenever he's selecting all his buildings, you can look at the little, let's see here, I guess I can't select. Well, if you have all the buildings selected, you can look at these little dots right here and just see if anything is being built at that certain time. And just being able to do that and keep your eyes on this bottom half of the screen lets you be much more aware of what all your macro buildings are doing. And this obviously works. This works for Terran, Protoss, and Zerg, and it's just a really good way to keep aware of everything that's going on. If you go to MC's vision, I mean, I'm certain he's doing the exact same thing. He's controlling these phoenixes right now, but he's looking back at his warp gates to see when his warp cycles are back and ready to go. He just looked to see when his Twilight Council finished so he could use Blink, and then he's checking his Blink progress all the time just to know exactly when it's going to finish. Alright, good luck practicing these things. If you get a hang on doing these things, it should really increase the speed of your play and give you a lot more flexibility to do things like, you know, like a Phoenix harassment, where you can be much more active with your Phoenixes while keeping your macro in your base as on top of it as possible. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Good luck implementing this in your play. Please leave me a comment, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thanks again for watching. GG.